A journey often suggests a substantial trip with a sense of purpose, like a pilgrimage, a backpacking trip, or a road trip with the goal of self-discovery. Journeys can be physically or emotionally demanding, leading to personal growth and new perspectives. The focus is often on the experience of the journey itself and the lessons learned along the way. Our reading is titled For the Traveler by John O'Donohue. Every time you leave home, another road takes you into a world you were never in. New strangers on other paths await. New places that have never seen you will startle a little at your entry. Old places that know you well will pretend nothing changed since your last visit. When you travel, you find yourself alone in a different way, more attentive now to the self you bring along. Your more subtle eye watching you abroad, and how what meets you touches that part of the heart that lies low at home. How you unexpectedly attune to the timbre in some voice, opening in conversation you want to take in, to where your longing has pressed hard enough inward on some unsaid dark, to create a crystal of insight you could not have known you needed to illuminate your way. When you travel, a new silence goes with you, and if you listen, you will hear what your heart would love to say. A journey can become a sacred thing. Make sure before you go to take the time to bless your going forth, to free your heart of ballast so that the compass of your soul might direct you toward the territories of spirit where you will discover more of your hidden life and the urgencies that deserve to claim you. May you travel in an awakened way, gathered wisely into your inner ground, that you may not waste the invitations which wait along the way to transform you. May you travel safely, arrive refreshed, and live your time away to its fullest. Return home more enriched and free to balance the gift of days which call you. We will now hear reflections from Brenda Ortega, who took her own journey from Chihuahua, Mexico to Detroit, Michigan, eventually becoming a U.S. citizen.
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting me. I am so excited. I'm so happy to be in front of all of you, and thank you for all the volunteers and the people who this make possible, because I see your community and I see this amazing community. Congratulations for that. So it's a really true honor to share my story with you. I speak with my open heart, hoping by telling you a little bit about my story, someone here can feel encouraged to keep going, especially when we are facing challenges. I was born and raised in Chihuahua, Mexico, a warm city, not only because the weather, but also by the friendly people. And since I was a child, I was fascinated by the human body, by the movement, and by how we can take care of our health. So that passion led me to study human movement, and then a master's degree in sports science, and eventually I get a PhD in exercise physiology. I feel incredibly grateful for the opportunity to pursue my education, but most important for me is the opportunity to use my knowledge to help others to get a better life. So after completing my studies, a new and a beautiful chapter of my life began. I got married. Yep. So my husband is a passionate engineer. So together we decide to start our life together in the United States. So although we met in Mexico, her career led us to Michigan, the famous Motor of City, home of the automotive industry and the full opportunities to grow in engineering and technology. For me, coming to the United States was both a dream, but also a leap into the unknown. So we arrived in a new land with different customs, different climate, and the most challenging, different language. Even though I have studied for several years English in the school, I realized very quickly that speaking a language in a classroom is very different in the real life. So I remember one day when I was in the store and I just wanted to buy a few basic things, but when I couldn't understand the cashier, when she asked me something, I froze. So I remember I have the bags in my hands with tears on my eyes because I feel bad that I don't understand or I can't communicate. So I feel frustration and I feel so small. But starting in a new life, in a new country, also stepping in a new role as a wife, with no job, no friends, no network, was extremely hard for me. But deep inside of me, there was a spark. I knew I couldn't give up. I had to build my life here, step by step. So I enrolled in English classes at the Oakland Literacy Council. This is an amazing program that connects students to volunteer tutors. So was there, I met Connie Afori-Denkwa, my tutor and my mentor, and now my friend. Connie didn't just teach me English, she gave me sometimes even more value. She helped me to be more confident to speak, to ask questions, to make mistakes, and try again. With her help, I began to take small steps, making phone calls, having conversation, asking for help. Today, I stand in front of you speaking in a language that once scares me. Thanks to Connie, so I always be grateful with her and hope she never forget the impact that the Connie had in my life. During that time, I began to looking for work. I was eager to feel useful again, to contribute, to put my training in a good use. That's when I found a nonprofit organization called Centro Multicultural La Familia. It's located in Pontiac, and this is a place dedicated to help the Hispanic community to grow, heal, and thrive. I feel like a divine time. So it's when I met my supervisor, Deborah Ehrman, and my colleague, and now my friend, Carolina Sisiruca. So with my background in preventive health, I find a role I couldn't teach people how to take care of their lives through health, nutrition, exercise, fitness, and to promote healthy lifestyles. I learned about the U.S. healthcare system. You know, it's complicated. and how to help others to get access to help. So through this work, I began to find my purpose again. Not just professionally, but personally. I was able to adapt and grow and helping others along the same journey. 4 years after arriving to the United States, I was able to prepare and apply for citizenship. In June 29, I became a proud U.S. citizen. And again, I didn't do alone. Connie helped me master English. My wonderful supervisor, Ms. Deborah Ehrman, supported me through the documentation process. And my husband also was there with me every step of the way, helped me to study all the questions. And I believe I've been incredible fortune to meet amazing people, people who give me a hand, and people help me to be today in front of you. As Isaac Newton said, if I have further, is by standing on the shoulders of giants. That's exactly how I feel, like even lifted up by giants along my path. But I know my story is not unique. Many immigrants like me face enormous challenges. Some have to leave behind not just their homes, but also their families, degrees, careers, and dreams. Many face discriminations, isolations, and economic hardship. Sometimes we begin to believe the lie that we don't belong. But then I remember the words spoken by the youth at my citizenship ceremony. He said, "This country is great because of its diversity. This country is beautiful because of each and every one of you. It doesn't matter where you come from, what language you speak, or what you look like. What matters is what you bring to this country, your values, your hard work, and your heart." A powerful message. So in a world that too often tries to divide us, we must remember that the beauty of this country and this community comes from the diversity. So right now, sadly, we are living in a time with the political discourse around immigrants is difficult. Policies can sometimes make migrants feel like they are unwelcome intruders rather than valued contributors. It's heartbreaking to witness how many are treated with suspicion, judged not just by their character, is because their accents, skin color, or country of origin. But I firmly believe this should not our reality. We must raise our voices and our hearts to remind one another that multiculturalism is not a threat, it's a blessing. The richness of this nation has always come from the diversity of these people. We must teach our children and our communities that are no real difference on base of the race of the birthplace. The only true measure of a person is what lives in their heart, of kindness and their willingness to serve, their courage to start again. Let us reject fear and build bridges instead of walls. Let us open our arms and open our minds to the beauty of the difference. Because when we do, we do not just build a better country, we build a better humanity. Each of us has the power to be a giant in someone else's life. You don't need to have a PhD or an important title. Sometimes it's a small thing that changes lives. A conversation, a kind of gesture, a helping hand, a word of encouragement. We always have the power to show up in someone else's life and help them grow and help them rise. My story is one of the transformation, but it's not mine alone. It's my husband's stories, who walk me every step. It's Connie's stories, who told me patiently. Is my supervisor, Deborah, and Carolina, my friend, who support me with love. Is the story of every person who give me a chance, a hand, and a moment of grace. And today, I want to invite you to be that kind of person. Don't underestimate the impact that you can have in someone else's life. Be that person who lifts others up. Because when you do, you don't just transform their life, you transform your life, your own life. Sometimes God calls us to leave our comfort zone, to step into the unknown. And even though the path may seem uncertain, He always sends angels along the way, people who guide us, support us, and remind us that we are not alone. Today, 6 years after arriving to this country, I can say with humility and joy that I found a new home, not because it was easy, but because I choose to build it. Step by step, with the help with others and with God's guidance. So I invite you to be these angels in the other person's life. So I want to say thank you to all the persons who transforms lives, to those who extend a hand, to those who choose kindness. And I want to remind each of you, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you decide to go. And and the most important is how you decide to contribute to your community. So thank you so much.